You have kids.
Yes.
You have parents.
Yes.
Very often the parents aren't on the same side. You have a family, which is a thing in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all of those things with their own interests competing. How do you prioritize that?
Well, I think you start with safety of the kids. I think that's where you have to start. Because in many times when a family is in crisis, that's one of the issues. Then I prioritize, from that point I would prioritize a couple of different things. Is there a drug or alcohol abuse issue with the parents? Because you're not going to save the family union if that's not being addressed. And you have to figure out if the parents are willing to address that. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they will choose their addiction over their children. The other priority is the children's education, because that's their key to the future. That's their way out if this is a family that's not functioning, if this is a family of low economic means. Working to get those children educated and out has to be a priority so that things are better for the next generation. And then, there's the issue of protecting the adults involved if there's a victim of domestic violence. And that can run both ways. There are some judges who will not find domestic violence, do not believe that women are capable of domestic violence, and they are, and I've seen it. And so it's about really figuring out what's going on and protecting anybody who's a victim of domestic violence and getting them into the program and the treatment so they realize why they let themselves get into that situation and how not to do it again. Because that's a pattern of behavior. That's a pattern of being attracted to people who are inclined to engage in that sort of behavior. And you have to educate people and get them out, help them as best you can to get out of that situation.
Tell me a funny story about family court. I mean, you got human beings, you got kids. There's got to be moments when...
Think about it. There are funny stories. I have to think of one because I've been being so serious.
I know. We're going to break that up now.
I've got a ton of them. It's just a matter of finding one. Might be John. Is the front door?
Put the doorbell.
Well, that was somebody's phone binging. What funny thing has happened in family court?
I mean, kids can't help themselves. They do funny stuff all the time.
Let's see, what is one of my... We have laughter every week, but thinking about something that... What's a good...
I'm not moving until you think of something. How much story have you got on that?
Well,
It's going to be like an Andy Warhol movie.
it's always funny when Judge
Three
Byron
guys sitting quietly.
This is my statement.
For like 4
dropped the F-bomb on the... Jeff, if you will hand me my phone, I'll make sure that John is not texting me.